Hey everybody, Dave Guerra here. Welcome. This is Trust the Process Saturday edition. It's a little late, but it's still Saturday, so it is the Saturday edition. All right, today in Trust the Process, I want to talk about something that, well, everybody's quick to criticize, but not act on. Everybody's quick to hold others accountable, but not themselves. And folks, speaking of accountable, it's accountability. That's what I want to talk about today, accountability. You have got to realize that when the time comes that you do something questionable, people are going to question you. They're going to hold you accountable to that. Why are you asking for money for a cause or for a situation, to address a situation, to take care of a financial situation, but right off the bat, you're over there spending money on things that are, cosmetic needs as opposed to addressing the financial need? And it should just be a cosmetic want, not a cosmetic need. That's where people are going to question you. And that's where you're going to have to be held accountable to what are you thinking? What are you doing? What's going on? Because the moment people really, truly start to see the whole picture and they start, wait a minute, if I'm giving you money for this, why are you spending money on that? Shouldn't you be addressing this? They're going to hold you accountable. And they're going to want an answer. And they're going to expect an answer. And guess what? You're going to have to give it to them because it is valid. You're asking them for money, but yet you're over there wasting your money. And in my eyes, it's called wasting money. Because if you have this financial situation of, I need to put food on the table, but hey, check out my new Bluetooth Beats. Where's the connect? No, there's a disconnect. And folks, that is where the trouble begins. Because if you're not being held accountable, if you're not holding first yourself accountable to yourself, then others are going to try to hold you accountable. And then all you can do is one of two things. The first thing is you can step up and answer the questions and just reassure everyone that you're not doing anything unscrupulous, immoral, unethical, that you're being accountable to what's going on. Or the second thing is you can just sweep everything under the rug, ignore your critics, and ignore those that are questioning you, ignore those that are in your corner, but don't want to see you fail, that don't want to see you become, to get in trouble. And you can sweep all of that under the rug, you can delete it, you can ignore it, that's up to you. But again, the accountability is why do you have to do that? If you're not doing anything wrong, why are you ignoring it? Why would you ignore something? Why would you sweep it under the rug? Why would you delete? Why would you erase the questioning? And folks, somebody said it before me and somebody will keep saying it after me long after I'm gone. But when people refuse to be questioned, they will do questionable things. I've seen it in my lifetime from people close to me to just complete strangers walking down the street. I will continue to see it in the future. I will see it in the past. I understand it happens. It's just the way people are. That's how they're built. But in this age of transparency, in this age of instant gratification, instant information, they're going to want to know why you're coming across as you're taking somebody's money under the pretenses of a special dire financial situation, and you're not addressing that situation, but instead you're flaunting a want. You're flaunting that you bought these items. And basically, on a quick overview, it's going to look suspicious. You're going to be suspect to something. And if you're not prepared for that, then don't start anything. Don't just sit there. But again, if you're ready to go, face the music, face the crowd, and by all means do what you need to do, but you're going to be held accountable. And how do you start holding yourself accountable? You question yourself. It's like I mentioned in last week's Trust the Process, ask yourself why. That's how you begin to hold yourself accountable. If you can answer why you're doing what you're doing, then you've got it made. You've got it made. But when you cannot answer why you're doing what you're doing, how are you going to hold yourself accountable? Let alone when people come calling, they're going to want answers. You can't sweep it under the rug. You can't hide it. They deserve an answer. And yes, they deserve an answer. Why? Because you put it out there in the public domain that, hey, I want some money. And when they give you that money, they expect full transparency. They expect to know where their money went because they gave it to you under a certain pretense. Whether it's $5, $10, $20, or $40, or $15,000. It doesn't matter. What does matter is you better be ready to be held accountable to that money. Because look what happened to that group of 3. They were trying to scam the system. This lady says that this homeless guy gave her the last $20 so she could put the homeless guy's last $20, gave her the money so she could put gas in the car so she could get to where she was going. And so they wanted to start this GoFundMe, and several $100,000s were raised under the pretense of giving this money to this homeless guy. Then all of a sudden things just started falling apart. Then come to find out that all 3, the homeless guy, the lady, and her husband were all in cahoots. And guess what? Federal charges. They've committed a crime. And it is a crime when you go over the wire, over the internet, over the worldwide internet, and you ask for money under a certain guise, certain pretense, and you don't deliver on that after they paid you. Guess what? I'm not a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. I played one on a radio show once, but that's besides the point. What I'm getting at is people are going to question it. So be prepared for the fallout. If you're too dumb to see that people want to help you and you want to sweep things under the rug, then it behooves you to get yourself a good lawyer, because you're going to need it. And it's just that simple. However, all of that could have been avoided if you had just held yourself accountable from the very beginning. If you had said, you know what, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay my own bills. First of all, if you had just done that, if you decided to go out, figure out a way to get that money, and you just put, I've tried A, B, C, and D, and none of that's worked. I need some help, and I will dedicate everything I can, and the sooner I can reach the goal. But again, people want shortcuts. People want everything handed to them. And folks, you can't be those people. As leaders, you cannot be those people. You have to take the high road. You have to take the long road. You have to take the road less traveled, because it will make the difference. It will make a difference. You have to go out there, sweat, bleed, cry, and that's what makes you a better person. Taking the easy way doesn't make you better. It makes you lazy. And that's not holding yourself accountable. What good are you if you refuse to even hold yourself accountable? That's being lazy. That's because somebody didn't treat you right. Somebody didn't teach you right. Somebody didn't say no enough times in your life, and they just handed you stuff. And now when it stops coming, you're still expecting it, but now you're expecting it from total strangers. Folks, accountability is where it's at. Hold yourself accountable and you'll see what happens. Be transparent in what you do and see what happens. Folks, that's Trust the Process for this week. Have a good week. I'll talk to you next week.